Hello and welcome to this week's lap guide. We are at Magny Cours and it's the first time we've raced here because the track is new. I think it is week 5, season 1, 2023, and we've got cool conditions, 18 air and 20 track. And I had a great race with Gary. Eventually I got by, and after I got by him I managed to string together 4 138 fours in a row. So I didn't have much practice leading up to this on this new track, so there's still some time to gain, but hopefully this helps anyone who needs it. So you can run all the way out here. I believe you can even run all the way out to the wall, but there is a 1x somewhere at the end where you go to turn in, so not quite sure where that is, but I don't think I hit it on this lap. So just to be safe, I just stay here and just have some wheels on the ripple strip, or at least the green ripple strip. So I'm going kind of by feel here, but it's as I get close to this end of the wall Marshall hut thing here, I guess maybe at the end of the grandstand here, I get on the brakes and go to 4th gear, and I may as well mention I'm using Mix setup shared in Discord this week. Try and get onto the dirt here and still sort of braking a little bit to keep the car nose turned in. I'm back on the throttle here, and I think I chickened out a bit, wondering if I'm going to go wide, but either way it was still pretty quick through here. Now pretty much if I can get the car back over to this curb here, this is where I want to start straight lining the braking, and this is my brake marker really, is it when I've straightened up over this curb. Yep. And I go back down to 3rd gear. I've decided that at least what helped me in my overtake was to not just hug the inside of this corner all the way, and I'm happy to carry some speed out here towards the end of this end of the pit lane exit blend line here. That way I can better aim for my markers for the rest of the corner. So about here I'm looking towards that Marshall hut, and then I'm starting to look for the exit of this little green line. I probably use a bit too much curb here, but this end of this green line is where is my sort of indicator to get on the throttle and track out. But more ideally I'm more on a straighter line towards that DRS sign there at this point. So you'll probably notice I have to lift off the throttle a bit. And yeah, you can come out here, but you've got to keep 2 wheels on a ripple strip, I believe. Now just under the bridge or bouncing off the limiter in 5th, that's when I hit the brakes back down to 2nd. Always try to get a nice late apex for this one, and you can run up over the curb and get a wheel on the grass and everything to make the corner a little bit tighter and smaller. Some people here will straight line across here. There's some dips in the road here, which means you can get some wheel spin because you'll usually be up in the high revs of 2nd gear through here. I don't know what's faster or not, haven't really tried it, but I prefer to just try and get the car straight as possible for as long as possible to be able to get the power down. But you see I do kind of do a bit of a lift here. Now sometimes I'll just stay in fourth and bounce off the limiter for a bit here, but sometimes I'll be up into fifth, and my brake mark is pretty much the 100 board, and obviously I'm doing it braking a bit earlier here at the end of this green patch, aiming to jump over these curbs. You can put a good 2 outside wheels onto the red stuff here. I haven't explored completely the limit here, but yeah, you be sure to put your green, get your left side wheels on the green. Then I like to drift out here a bit as well, carrying as much speed as possible, high in third gear. And then the end of the red and white, just before it here, is my brake marker to sort of brake in a straight line out. Sometimes you can go all the way out to this white lines here and then turn in, or just naturally ease it all the way through the braking zone to the apex. This part's tricky because these cars are so powerful. You'll get oversteer just trying to go up through the gears on these fast corners that aren't really corners in other cars. So you say I'm sort of at 90 throttle instead of going full throttle. Again, I'm just braking before the 100 here, going back into third gear, aiming to cut the curves. This one's tricky because it's a bit blind, and the car wants to over-rotate, usually as you're aiming for the apex, but that can help. I think here I even correct a little bit where I didn't need to. Yeah, I get a bit scared and I correct as it starts to rotate nicely, aiming for the corner, so I could have probably left it and hit more of this curb and gone faster. Again, 2 wheels on the green. I guess you could sacrifice a bit and stay left, hug the left all the way in, but I think it's faster to carry more speed on the out and then straight line aiming it back in towards the outside eggs. Outside eggs, yeah, that's what Alonso says. Over here. So yeah, as soon as I've straightened up and I've reached this curbing on the left, it's my brake marker. I guess there's curbing on the right too if you're in that situation. You can fully mount this curb if you like, if you need to jump over it. It unsettles the car a bit, but it's extra corner. Now Mick reckons it's best to stay to the right here, and I'll have to have a look at his laps and see how he goes. It does feel like the track falls away here, and in second gear it's hard to get on the throttle. You have to hesitate a lot. As you can see, I take a few sort of stabs with the steering wheel as well. And then I think it's best to straight line it back over this side of the road so that when I do the braking and turning, I'm on the left. I often get up to 5th gear, or again, just hold it in 4th for a bit. And so my brake marker is kind of in between this 200 and this other little grey strip here, because that must be 150 here, as you can see. So 175 I guess I'm braking at, so that I can straight line it along here. You can use plenty of curb here. It does unsettle the car a bit, but there's plenty of room. And yeah, you can get out here as well, keep 2 wheels on the ripple strip at least. And I just dab the brakes a little bit before aiming to take these curbs. You can take heaps of curbs here, but they're quite high and they do unsettle the car, so it makes traction on the exit harder. But I think the ideal is to just clip the red and white ones with your wheels like this. I've even started doing a little short shift up into 3rd through there, so that when I'm tracking out here, I'm not super high in second gear. right when it's bumpy and slippy. Might even get the grass there a little bit, but apparently that was the fastest lap. So what we'll do is we'll just quickly go straight to the cockpit, because this next lap is like an identical lap time, but we'll see what the differences are. There was a couple laps in a row there, different. Let's have a look. See, they were all pretty close together. That's pretty crazy. And we'll go have a look at Mick. He's around here somewhere. There we go. And his laps were off lap 3. It's interesting, it looks like he's going back into third there and braking a bit later. Well, there you go. You can see the differences there, and that's why it was such a faster lap. Might have a look now at my pass on Gary. Let's go. There was a few attempts before that, but I think the idea was to, get to the apex there and stall him out wide so that he can't get back. Alright, well that was the lap guide. See you all in the next one.